Okay, video number 2. Here we go. This one is from Tom, and I think some of you guys thought I would actually edit your sayings into something like clever. No. I need all the candidacy I can get. I wanted honesty, and I wanted rants, and I got one from Tom. Here we go. Tom, GM of the Cougars, says, Henry, I was away for the weekend with no laptop. No story from me. Just drove home in a freaking blizzard, so a bit stressed. Need beer. LOL. I know that feeling. I hate everyone. I hate everyone on my team except Barkov. I hate everyone on my team except Barkov, Skinner, Scandella, Broden, Tarasenko, Shen, Tootin, Clifford, Franson Mason, and Jay Moore. I like my defensive prospects in Welinski, Clefbaum, Matheson, E. Lindell, McCaution, Gustav Olufsson, and a new forward prospects, Shinkaruk. I think that's a Canucks prospect. I should know that. Guptill, DePauli, McCarron, B. McKit, pardon me, M. Lindstrom, and T. Teenan. My first round pick, 2014, I like. Most other prospects suck. Winning early gave me false hope. Oh, it's not funny, guys. Come on. Winning gave me false hope. Back to tanking. Rebuilding. Take quotes from this. Sorry I had no time to do a better job. No need for apologies, Tom, and you couldn't have done a better job. Thanks very much. Number 19, our fearless leader, the Express. Mark McRae, GM of the Fredericton team, the 22nd. Oh, is Mark? I'm trying to figure out Mark. Oh, I see. Mark is saying he deserves to be 22nd. I think he's a little bit better than that, so I put him 19th this week. The Express sit 11th in the Canadian Conference with only a week left in the first half of the season. They may have been just plain terrible at scoring. Oh, sorry, I beg your pardon. They have been just plain terrible at scoring, and especially at winning on a regular basis. Management has pulled out most of their hair, but they haven't quite thrown in the towel yet. Almost nobody on their roster is untouchable. Perhaps I should edit this and be like, no one can trade with the Express except the Gladiators. Almost nobody on the roster is untouchable at this point, as the defending champs are rumored even to be shopping their captain, face of the franchise, all-star, and 76 OV, it's no joke, Eric Stahl, in order to shake things up. Mark also had the only hashtags in the comments. Hashtag desperation. Hashtag what it takes. Interesting. Number 18, the Shamrocks. Ryan says, I would like to say that my team can be best presented by the newest hit song, Everything is Awesome. If you don't know this great song, check out the video. I can't link you a video in this video because I don't know how. One of these days I will learn. But the song is very, very catchy. It's from the Lego movie. It's pretty cool. For most of this year, the team has been awesome, but the latest injury to Thomas Vanek has led to more losses than wins. But the team is getting wins against opponents behind them in the standings. The Shamrocks currently sit in the 8th spot in the World Conference with some important games coming up, including a game against the Fire Ants and the Cougars. Even though Vanek is out, he continues to be in the top 10 in league scoring. It's pretty impressive. While Brunner, not really a rookie, is currently 3rd in the league rookie scoring race, with Loitkanov not far behind. Not bad. I would like to say that the Shamrock management is quite displeased. Oh, the Shamrocks are displeased. I'm so sorry, Shamrocks. Oh, it was about the schedule of the league. I thought it was about the power rankings. Still. Hang on, I got a flute somewhere. Or a violin. Not a flute. Playing the world's tiniest flute. Okay. I would like to say that the Shamrock management is quite displeased with the schedule making of the SICHL. How is the team supposed to be building momentum when in their first 24 games they play Hamburg 4 times? The league must know that we cannot beat Hamburg. I would like to retract my because that is great. Great job scheduling. I'm a big fan of playing teams that I can consistently beat because there's not that many of them. If I were to rank the Shamrocks, I would base it on the SICHL output rankings found here. I'm not going to link that. They're my competition. But in reality, the Shamrocks are the middle of the pack. I would put them in the 15th spot. Add anything you want. Look forward to the rankings. Thanks, Ryan. I'm going to put you 18th. So, ha. Next, we have the Chicago Tigers. Sheetal, has a short but brief analysis. I am okay with 19th, but I believe the Tigers should be in 17th place on the power rankings. I got one right. Based on overall team scoring, strong defense, and very few injuries, this makes them very competitive with a backup goalie as a number 1. That's a good point. The ranking should also be based on how well my Olympic hopefuls did, which was nothing to write home about. All right, well, there you go. Can't add anything much to that. The Tigers and the Shamrocks are going to be duking it out, I think, for the rest of the year. Oh, I nudged my TV. I got to be careful of these arm movements, so the camera's going to go down. Cheetal's going to... He's not going away. He's only 1 point back of the Shamrocks. He'll be very close, and we're only halfway through the season. Number 16. I know I said... Wait, what did I say we go to? 13? I'm just going to keep going. These are short videos. Number 16 are the Vancouver Island Norsemen. GM Matt McInnes says... Ryan Getzlaf is broken. It's true. Last SICHL season, he had 5 goals. I don't know why I'm laughing so much. These are just kind of funny. Last season, he had 5 goals. This season, he's well under a point a game, yet he's one of the top centers in the NHL. What the hell? Jonathan Quick is... I can just imagine Matt saying this. Jonathan Quick is defective this season. One of the best goalies in the world? Not under the bright lights of the Supreme Intercontinental Hockey League, where he's decidedly sub-average. He's tied in save percentage with some guy named Chris Rawlings. Is he even real? That seems made up. What do I think of the 2013-2014 SICHL season, Matt says? I think I'm playing this game all wrong, because the best top 6 forwards in the league and one of the top 5 goalies in the world can't even drag Sidney Crosby's smiling face into a playoff spot. It's true. I'm sorry, Matt. Your team is not very good, and it makes no sense. To be fair, though, you're subscribing to the wrong mantra of GMing, so you try and make good teams, whereas you should probably make your team bad on purpose, and then they'll somehow win. That's how it works, right? Number 15, the Vancouver Vipers. Bryce has this to say. I put the Vipers in the middle of the league at number 14. Sounds pretty close. I think we're a playoff team, and could do some damage since our goals for is one of the highest in the league. He's correct. I have checked the math. If we can just tighten up our defense, we could really make some noise. I fully realize that my team needs to get younger. However, I don't want to start getting rid of players that are helping me win just to get a better draft position. Besides, shouldn't teams actually be trying to win games? Shots fired. As you can tell, my biggest beef is teams that are already throwing in the towel. I didn't realize that these power rankings would be so controversial. As you can tell... Oh, I already said that. I think the process to determine the draft order needs to change. The draft order should be based on the teams that accumulate the most points once their team is mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. That has been a topic this year about draft positioning. It'll be very interesting. I'm staying far away from that. I'm just the messenger. I have no opinions of my own, except that the Gladiators are terrible. The next 2 spots, 14 and 13, are MIA. Didn't get a response back from Pat. And I didn't get a response back from Derek. So I'll just say that the Slammers jumped way up. They got Mark Stahl back from injury and has had immediate impact. They went 4-1 this week, one of the best teams. And Erik Karlsson isn't even in the lineup yet, and he's at an 89 condition. So he'll be back in between 1 and 2 weeks. With him, I think the Slammers might be certainly a top 10 team, and maybe even a top 5. They could give some teams runs for their money. I will now do an impression of Pat's laugh. It's not very good, but Pat has pretty much the best, most boisterous laugh I've ever heard. It wasn't very good. I'm sorry, Pat. The Titans, the roller coaster season continues, which I suppose is apt, considering that the biggest roller coaster in Canada is the Behemoth, which lies just outside of Toronto. Matt McInnes actually convinced me somehow to go on it, and it was amazing. So amazing that I'll never go on it again, and I still have nightmares about the 221-foot climb. At the top, it takes about 45 minutes to get out there from downtown Toronto. When you're at the top, you look left, you can see the city. That's how high up you are, and it was really freaky but really fun. Anyway, back to the Titans. They only have 1 regulation loss in their last 9 games, and have beaten some good teams in the Schooners, Wheat Kings, and the Gladiators. Well, that last team isn't very good. Scratch that last one. But yeah, the Titans. Good job, Derek. Your team is very hard to predict. I'm not gonna guess where you're going to be next week. I literally have no clue. Your team may die. Your entire lineup may die, and it wouldn't surprise me. You're one of those weird, chaotic teams. Okay, so next up, we have the Admirals at number 12. And this is, I said the video would be to the 13, but I'm just going to do the rest. These videos aren't too long. And if you guys sat through 2.5 hours of preseason, why would you do that? You can sit through like half an hour, or 20 minutes, or half an hour, something like that. Keeney says, the Admirals' post-Stamkos error has seemed to perform adequately after the huge deal in the off-season. The Admirals have done well. Their depth is tight, and no one is setting the world on fire, but the team is playing solid hockey. The regular season isn't a sprint, so the Admirals just want to maintain until the playoffs, where the leadership, depth, and gritty hockey pays off. Trade rumors fly around the team to shore up their top 9 forwards. Interesting. I wonder how many people will look at these videos and then immediately contact the GMs. Maybe they're blowing hot smoke, maybe they're not. I really should be taking advantage of this, but I don't want to abuse my power. Oh, no! No! Oh, God. I can't even touch my table. Sorry, guys. This will be the most entertaining part of the rankings, I'm sure. Okay. Not touching anything. Number 11 is the Wheat Kings. Doug. Doug says, GM Carnes. I like the third-person GM. That's my jam, though, Doug. Stay away. GM Ski doesn't like it. GM Carnes has spent the last 3 weeks trying to get a handle on his finances. He has traded 3 players, Horton, Jokinen, and Stallberg, thereby saving over $13 million in salary. Ooh. And adding 2 players in... Oh, shoot. I hate talking about players I don't know how to pronounce their games. Thomas Kopecky, I think it's Kopecky, and Campbell, adding $2.5 million. We Kings had earlier retired the contract of Roman Hamrlik, $3.68 million. While getting his total salary under control, the on-ice product has not suffered while hovering in the 5 or 6 spot in the Canadian Conference. Carnes is happy with a top 10 or 12 ranking in the league, but may still have a few ideas for trades if the opportunity comes. We have a very well-balanced and disciplined team that will surprise a few people in the near future. So he said top 10 or 12, and he's in 11th. I nailed another one. All right. I was hoping to upset more people. The Cannons are rounding out the top 10. Corey, I didn't get a response for you. Again, if I didn't get response from you guys and you actually sent it in, I apologize. It may have gone to my junk mail folder. I checked, but you know how email is. It may have been something weird. So really big apologies if you didn't get one in. If that's the case, or if you did get it in and I didn't read it, we'll be doing more video rankings throughout the year, so not to worry, and hopefully I will have a better video set up so I don't keep knocking my camera down and looking very unprofessional. The Cannons aren't going away, going 3-1-1 this week. Anze Kopitar continues to tear it up with 42 points in 39 games, and Lupul is starting to wake up too. Watch out, Canadian Conference. I can't believe Lupul's scoring. It's insane. His scoring rating. All right. We're on to number 9. Love potion number 9. We've got Eric, the GM of the Schooners. Here's what he has to say. I know you're all on the edge of your seat. I know I am. I'm sort of in the middle. Actually, what would it be like if I was on the edge of my seat? No, it's not very comfortable. We're going to go back. Okay. So I'm on the middle of my seat now. Here's what Eric says. The good news. We're 9-1-2 in our last 12. That's pretty good. The bad news. Aside from a win over the Supersonics, all those games were against teams below us in the standings. And this week we play the Bears. The Golden Bears. I cannot beat the Bears. The Golden Bears. If it were in any way possible, I would hire a sim sniper and have Sim Giroux sim shot in his sim head. I just like the sounds of that. I want to reiterate that this is all simulated. None of it is real. Eric doesn't want to shoot anybody. Except maybe me sometimes. I'm kind of annoying. So there you go. Schooners, number 9. That's pretty entertaining here. You better hire some protection. Number 8, the London Monarchs. Now, normally I would put them in a top 3 spot. They've done really well. I think they got 8 or 9 points this week. But there's trouble in London. Michael says, sorry for the delay in this. Went camping. In brackets, it was cold. Michael, I can't stand camping at the best it can. Well, no, it's okay. Camping's okay. I like getting drunk around the campfire, but cold camping I can't imagine being very pleasurable. Michael continues. I would have put my team number 3. Me too. I would have said the Monarchs had an offense that was on fire. I would have said I was only a little disappointed in the Monarchs' team goals against average. And that was until we played Ottawa. That was until team MVP, Mr. 223 points, went down with an injury. That was until London's top player was lost for 3 months. Now I'm just going to go cry myself to sleep Signed, Michael, the very upset GM of the Malkinless Monarchs. Evgeny Malkin has a strained right elbow injury. Current condition, 33. That's going to hurt any team. Sorry, Michael. Things were going too well for you. Gary, take note. Number 7, the Fire Ants. Norm has a detailed analysis, unsurprisingly. Norm says, general analysis, general. Our power play is terrible. Inexcusably terrible, considering the level of talent and what I am paying these bums. If our power play was clicking the way it should be, we'd be at or near the top of the World Conference right now. I better see improvement, or else heads will roll. Other than that, we're doing fine. I don't feel the need to dominate like I did in the old days. There are enough losers and tankers and peons in this league that I can coast into the playoffs and still keep a few draft spots ahead for next season. You suckers make it way too easy for me. Norm, you make it so easy to like you, too. Typical Ferengi attitude. What I don't like. Did I mention my power play? I think I may have. In case I haven't, it's... Well, there's a word I can't say because we're a family-friendly site. It's bleeping terrible. Other than that, I'd like to see better secondary scoring so Datsyuk and Stamkos don't have to do all the work. Also, where's the offense from the blue line? What I like. Datsyuk and Stamkos finally are finding some chemistry. Defense is a brick wall, as usual, and as deep as it's been in ages. Reimer is bouncing back from a rocky start to prove me right, again. Seriously, when will people stop doubting me when it comes to goalies? He could be Rookie of the Year by the time the season is through. I mean, obviously I'm going to replace him with something better by the playoffs, but he's still great. Had a good chuckle over that one. Thanks, Norm. Number 6, the Supersonics. The top 5 were actually pretty difficult for me this time. Mike was kind of like me this week in that he had a really stinky week. Didn't do very well. Mike says, I was confident in my team going into the season, and I expected us to do well. But I'd be lying if I said I thought we'd be in first place, factoring in games in hand, which I don't factor into. The team is designed to contribute by committee, and I did figure that some of my forwards would be contributing more offense. My team leaders are 20 points off the pace. I am certainly glad that all my Ryan Miller deals in the offseason fell through, as he and Schneider are absolute studs for me. Yeah, Supersonics, sober second thought, I probably should have put them a little higher, maybe above the Aces and the Riders, but this week they really didn't do very well. So again, 6th, they could be 5th, 4th, 3rd. I probably wouldn't argue all that much. They just didn't do very well this week, and the rankings are a combination of overall strength and week-to-week stuff. So that does factor in. And I should point out that this year's rankings are really, really tough because the league is much closer in terms of parity. So if you're mad that you're like 6th instead of 4th, go suck a lemon. Number 5, the Aces. Dustin says wait, no, Dustin didn't say that. Dustin says he should be 3rd. I say he should be 5th. I'm the power rankings guru. He is 5th. The Aces have taken a page out of the Rain Man's book. Yes, they are illegally counting cards at casinos, and they simply can't lose in Vegas. The Aces are 20 wins, 2 losses, and 3 overtime/shootout losses in their last 25 games. Good for a 43 out of a possible 50 points over that stretch. It's pretty good. The only 2 teams to beat them in regulation over the last month and a half, yikes, are the Supersonics and the Empire. The only 2 that should be ahead of them in the power rankings. I may not argue about that. Or I may not argue... Well, hang on. Let's try that again. I am arguing, but you could probably convince me otherwise. I succumb to peer pressure and debate pretty easily. Thankfully, this is the extent of how the interactive power rankings go. Can you imagine a live power rankings? That's actually a good idea. Okay. Wheels are turning. This is how the creative juices flow. Although I'm sure you guys don't want to hear about my juices flowing. Number 4, the Reykjavik Riders. This might be a little high, but the other teams sort of had weird things going on. I don't know. The Riders are 4th. Deal with it. After years of basement dwelling, the Riders aren't unhappy finally playing again for a playoff spot. The $13 million man, Craig Anderson, is paying off in droves, finally ending a couple of years where goaltending was an option in Reykjavik. I guess it was sort of recommended to have a goalie, not part of the rules. Fans are happy as they can finally watch a winning team, and owners are satisfied with the inflating bankroll. I think they're tolerating it. I don't think any owner likes a big bankroll. But, however, all is not rosy in Ponyland, as the team constantly gives up more shots than they put on the opposing net. If something happened to the best paid player on the team, who knows where the team would be? Ellipses. So, man, you're just setting yourself up for an Anderson injury, man. Don't give the gods, the SICHL gods, any more help than they already have, is what I'll say. All right, into the top 3 now. Guy, GM, superstar GM, 16-0 of the Golden Bears, says, the Bears are winning with decent offense and even better defense. The good. Superstar Claude Giroux leads the team in scoring, no surprise, and is the only player scoring at a point-per-game pace. The offense by committee mentality took some time to take hold, but moving Dustin Byfuglien up front from the blue line has given the team 3 scoring lines, and the record since the switch, 13 wins, 4 losses, proves that it was a smart decision. I agree. In net, both Vokoun and Holtby have been strong, while they split the starts based on a play-until-you-lose system. It's not a bad system. The bad. Not that much bad, but the bad. Special teams have been a headache for Acadia. The power play has been sluggish all season, ranking in the 20th to 25th range since the year began. It's kind of strange. That despite being a top 10 team in scoring and shots on goal. Interesting. The penalty kill was dreadful, but has gradually started to play better, oddly enough, during the time Ryan Smith was injured. Now that he's back, we'll see if that was a coincidence or not. Overall, have to be pretty happy with a 4th place standing after Friday's games, and knowing that against the other top 5 teams, Acadia has a record of 3-0 so far this season. New York, London, Winnipeg have not played Edmonton yet. Yeah, the Golden Bears are tricky. That good, Henry? Question mark? That good, Guy. That good. I wanted to talk a lot about Winnipeg because they're awesome, but unfortunately, I did not get an analysis in, so I will just read my quick line, which says, the Team Canada, the 2014 version of the SICHL. Lots of criticism for a team that doesn't do much except win and have an incredibly deep lineup. They've sort of been understated. A lot of people talking about them. Sort of like Team Canada, they got marred with criticism by me, for not much real good reason. I don't think they've lost more than 2 in a row all year. They're going to be in a playoff spot. It wouldn't surprise me if they end up being the number 1 team. All right, and thanks everybody for sticking with me. We're almost done here. Number 1, the New York Empire, Gary. No surprises. Gary thinks he should be rated first. I concur, Your Excellency. Why? Well, a 6-point lead in the World Conference and a 5-point lead in the league. Some of these analyses came in between Thursday and Saturday, so if they're not fully updated, they probably are just not including like Monday's games and things like that. The team leads the league in scoring and has 3 of the top 5 scoring leaders on its roster. Landing Giguère was a huge pickup now as the team had overworked Tuukka Rask, who is now sitting due to exhaustion. Hoping to see Rask back when the team plays the Canadian Conference leading Edmonton Supersonics tomorrow night at home. That's going to be a big game. In the team's last 20 games, the record has been 15-3-2. Not too shabby. Real happy with this worst to first turnaround. Last year was just a nightmare. The joke of the league, which was reflected in last year's power rankings quite often. It wasn't me, Gary. It must have been somebody else. I was always really nice to you. The team may forever hold the worst team record ever of 7 wins in a single season. How many wins did the Crunch have? Let me just check real quick here. I think the Crunch already have... Good timing for the internet not to work. Crunch up 5 wins, so 7 wins may not be beat, it's true. We feel we have the right mix of vets and youth to challenge for the Continental Cup this season, and one never knows if all the dealin' is done. Well, maybe Kenny Rogers? There's no like grammar there, so I don't know if it's like, well, maybe Kenny Rogers? What do you think? I don't know. Kenny Rogers isn't here. He finishes with the team is also set up for future successes with many young guns. McKinnon, Sad, JVR, Johansson, Rask, etc. Man, Gary's got Nathan McKinnon? Are you kidding me? What? I don't believe him. Well, I'll check that up later. I'll believe him. Anyway, guys, that is the end of the Power Rankings. Thank you very much for watching. Look for more video podcast / Power Rankings in the future. And I hope everybody's having a good time with the season. I hope everybody enjoyed the gold medal game. And, thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.